Helen Keller lost her sight and hearing when she wasn't even 2 years old. It was only at the age of 7 that Anne Sullivan became her teacher, and Helen was able to learn how to talk with anybody using her hands. From then on, she earned a Bachelor of Arts, wrote 14 books, campaigned for people with disabilities and for women's rights, met many presidents and famous artists, and inspired the world with her story. A documentary based on her won an Oscar, and later a play based on her life, called The Miracle Worker, became a classic film with Anne Bancroft and Patty Duke, who played Helen. Here is a selection of Helen Keller's inspired quotes. "Self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything wise in this world. Once I knew only darkness and stillness, my life was without past or future, but a little word from the fingers of another fell into my hand that clutched at emptiness, and my heart leaped to the rapture of living. Everything has its wonders, even darkness and silence, and I learn, whatever state I may be in, therein to be content. Science may have found a cure for most evils, but it has found no remedy for the worst of them all, the apathy of human beings. There is no king who has not had a slave among his ancestors, and no slave who has not had a king among his. The world is moved along not only by the mighty shoves of its heroes, but also by the aggregate of tiny pushes of each honest worker. We are never really happy until we try to brighten the lives of others. Unless we form the habit of going to the Bible in bright moments as well as in trouble, we cannot fully respond to its consolations because we lack equilibrium between light and darkness. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched, they must be felt with the heart. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Literature is my utopia. Here I am not disenfranchised. No barrier of the senses shuts me out from the sweet, gracious discourses of my book friends. They talk to me without embarrassment or awkwardness. Instead of comparing our lot with that of those who are more fortunate than we are, we should compare it with the lot of the great majority of our fellow men. It then appears that we are among the privileged. It is for us to pray not for tasks equal to our powers, but for powers equal to our tasks, to go forward with a great desire forever beating at the door of our hearts as we travel toward our distant goal. It is not possible for civilization to flow backwards while there is youth in the world. Many people know so little about what is beyond their short range of experience. They look within themselves and find nothing. Therefore they conclude that there is nothing outside themselves either. My share of the work may be limited, but the fact that it is work makes it precious. While they were saying among themselves it cannot be done, it was done. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Security is mostly a superstition. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. True happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. The highest result of education is tolerance. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. I do not want the peace which passeth understanding, I want the understanding which bringeth peace. Life is an exciting business, and most exciting when it is lived for others. People do not like to think. If one thinks, one must reach conclusions. Conclusions are not always pleasant. I seldom think about my limitations, and they never make me sad. Perhaps there is just a touch of yearning at times, but it is vague, like a breeze among flowers. No matter how dull or how mean or how wise a man is, he feels that happiness is his indisputable right. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. So long as the memory of certain beloved friends lives in my heart, I shall say that life is good. What we have once enjoyed we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. I long to accomplish a great and noble task, but it is my chief duty to accomplish small tasks as if they were great and noble. What I am looking for is not out there, it is in me. It is wonderful how much time good people spend fighting the devil. If they would only expend the same amount of energy loving their fellow men, the devil would die in his own tracks of ennui. Until the great mass of the people shall be filled with the sense of responsibility for each other's welfare, social justice can never be attained. Death is no more than passing from one room into another. But there's a difference for me, you know. Because in that other room I shall be able to see. No pessimist ever discovered the secret of the stars, or sailed to an uncharted land, or opened a new doorway for the human spirit. Faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. Toleration is the greatest gift of the mind. It requires the same effort of the brain that it takes to balance oneself on a bicycle. No one has a right to consume happiness without producing it. The heresy of one age becomes the orthodoxy of the next. It is hard to interest those who have everything in those who have nothing. I can see, and that is why I can be happy, in what you call the dark, but which to me is golden. I can see a God-made world, not a man-made world.